Ancient origins, the Varna system, India, a land of vibrant colors, rich history, and deep-rooted traditions. From the bustling markets to the serene temples, every corner of this vast country tells a story. But beneath the surface lies a complex social hierarchy, the caste system. This system has influenced every aspect of life in India for centuries. Its roots go back thousands of years to the ancient Vedic texts, which laid out a social order known as the Varna system. These texts were not just religious scriptures, but also guides to societal organization. Imagine a society divided into four main groups, each with its prescribed roles and responsibilities. These groups were the brahmans, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras. This was the essence of the varna system. Each group had its own duties and expectations, creating a structured and orderly society. This wasn't just about occupation, though. It was woven into the very fabric of society, dictating everything from marriage and food to religious practices. The Varna system influenced daily life in ways both big and small. This rigid framework, while perhaps serving a purpose in a bygone era, would cast a long shadow over India's future, shaping its social fabric for millennia to come. The echoes of this system can still be felt today. The Varna system, while initially intended to be a division of labor, gradually morphed into a rigid, hereditary system. Over time, the flexibility of the system diminished. Social mobility became nearly impossible, trapping generations within their assigned roles. This lack of mobility created a society where one's birth determined their entire life's path. This rigid structure would form the basis of the caste system with its far-reaching consequences. The impact of this system has been profound, influencing social dynamics and individual lives for centuries. The four varnas, a hierarchy of roles. This ancient system categorized society into distinct groups, each with its own set of responsibilities and duties. At the apex of the varna system stood the brahmans, the priestly and intellectual class. They were considered the mouth of the cosmic being, symbolizing their role in communication and knowledge. Tasked with preserving knowledge, conducting rituals, and guiding society spiritually, they held a position of immense respect and authority. Their wisdom was sought in matters both mundane and divine. Think of them as the guardians of wisdom and tradition. They were the ones who ensured that the sacred texts and rituals were passed down through generations. They were the teachers, the scholars, the keepers of ancient texts and rituals. Their role was crucial in maintaining the spiritual and educational fabric of society. Next came the kshatriyas, the warriors and rulers. They were considered the arms of the cosmic being, symbolizing strength and protection. Their duty was to protect the people, maintain law and order, and expand the kingdom's reach. They were the leaders in times of war and peace. Picture them as the protectors, the brave soldiers and kings who defended their people from threats. Their valor and leadership were essential for the stability of the realm. They were the ones who wielded the sword, enforced justice, and ensured the safety and security of the realm. Their role was to uphold dharma, the moral order. The vaishyas, the merchants and traders, formed the backbone of the economy. They were considered the thighs of the cosmic being, symbolizing support and sustenance. They engaged in agriculture, commerce, and crafts, generating wealth and ensuring the flow of goods and services. Their entrepreneurial spirit drove economic growth. Think of them as the entrepreneurs, the skilled artisans, and the farmers who kept the economy running. They were the ones who facilitated trade and commerce. They were the ones who brought food to the table, clothes to wear, and tools to work with. Their contributions were vital for the sustenance of society. At the bottom of the pyramid were the shudras, the laborers and service providers. They were considered the feet of the cosmic being, symbolizing their role in supporting the entire structure. They performed essential tasks like farming, cleaning, and serving the upper castes. Their labor was indispensable for the functioning of daily life. Consider them the backbone of society, the unseen hands that kept daily life running smoothly. Their hard work and dedication were the foundation upon which the other classes relied. They were the ones who toiled in the fields, cleaned the streets, and served in the homes of the upper castes. Their contributions, though often overlooked, were crucial for the well-being of the entire society. Beyond the pale, the untouchables. This term refers to a group of people who have been marginalized and oppressed for centuries. But the Varna system wasn't just about these four groups. It was a complex social hierarchy that dictated every aspect of life. It also gave rise to a deeply disturbing concept, untouchability. This concept created an invisible barrier that separated people based on their birth. Outside the four varnas existed a group deemed so low that they were considered untouchable. They were shunned and ostracized by society. They were relegated to the fringes of society, forced to perform the most menial and degrading tasks. These tasks included manual scavenging, cleaning, and other forms of labor that were considered impure. These were the Dalits, the broken people, condemned to a life of poverty, exclusion, and discrimination. Their living conditions were often deplorable, with little access to basic amenities. Denied access to education, temples, and even basic human dignity, they faced unimaginable hardships. The barriers to education meant that generations of Dalits remained uneducated and trapped in a cycle of poverty. Their very touch was considered polluting, a stark reminder of the brutal inequalities baked into this ancient system. This belief perpetuated a cycle of discrimination and violence against them. Imagine being born into a life where your worth is predetermined, where your shadow is seen as a contamination, where even accessing clean water is a struggle. This was not just a social issue, but a human rights crisis. This was the harsh reality for millions trapped in the cruel system of untouchability, a system that stripped away their basic human rights and dignity. Despite the progress made over the years, the scars of this system still linger in many parts of India today. A shadow over modern India, caste's lingering effects. Fast forward to modern India. While the Constitution outlawed untouchability and discrimination based on caste, the reality on the ground tells a different story. Centuries of ingrained prejudice don't simply vanish overnight. The ghosts of the caste system continue to haunt India, casting a long shadow over its social fabric. From villages to cities, caste identities often dictate social interactions, marriage prospects, and even economic opportunities. Discrimination remains a harsh reality for many, particularly in rural areas where traditional hierarchies hold sway. Dalits continue to face violence, exclusion, and limited access to education and employment. Think about it. You're a bright young student from a Dalit background, eager to pursue your dreams. But you face discrimination at every turn, from biased teachers to limited opportunities. Or you're a skilled artisan, but your caste identity prevents you from accessing markets and showcasing your talent.